You can freeze time but only for 10 seconds at a time. What's the best use for this power? Killing mosquitoes. Do you know these people who hide a ball under cups? I would end their careers. Act like you can teleport. Saving the things you accidentally dropped. Whatever thing you're doing in your room. As soon as you hear the doorknob being turned, activate the power. Gambling. You can stop time and fudge stuff like dice placement, the balls on a roulette, and most importantly, people's and your own decks while playing cards. You can choose what you'll get next and what your opponent gets. Be a magician. Thinking of a good comeback in a conversation. But what is the cooldown? A second, 10, a day. Pulling out a wedgie. Carrying the cat away just before they vomit on the rug. I would develop a simple magic routine. My grand finale is the teleporting man. I get little fame for doing the basic teleporting man of entering an enclosed booth and exiting from another enclosed booth, even though people have seen it before, but it still garners attention. I ramp it to be more of a spectacle. Flashing lights. No booths so the audience can see me except for 1 second when I am obstructed from their view. Once I am big enough, I run a limited show that claims I would teleport for in front of their eyes. No gimmicks. No booths. No flashy technology. I teleport in front of people. I charge a lot of money. Word gets out. I charge more and extend the show. Then I start to do private shows for the wealthy elite and charge even more. Teleporting behind my friends. Become an assassin. Run out of theater, church, movie, etc. without people noticing would make bathroom breaks so much easier. You could play ping pong on your own. Edit. Thank you guys for the rewards. To stop myself from spilling my drink. Edit. Here's a silver award. I would either be really good at boxing or UFC, or I would get hit once and forget I had a superpower. Talk shit to somebody at the top of a staircase. Wait for them to start walking up the stairs to confront me. Then freezing time and moving them back to the bottom of the stairs. Over and over. Practicing my knife throwing. While doing a drowning rescue. 10 seconds can change everything. Edited. Typo. Stealing French fries off of other people's plates. Definitely pranking people. For example, they throw something. I stop time and put it somewhere completely else. Depends how physics work in this scenario. If time is truly stopped, then the momentum and kinetic energy of every object in motion would be preserved. Meaning, if I took a moving object and moved it somewhere else, it would continue moving in the same relative direction. Basically what I'm saying is I'd be really good at darts. You could become a top-ranked fighter. Peeing in a public bathroom. I can live blissfully knowing nobody ever has to hear me pee ever again. Bet super athletic people you can get to a certain place. Like 10 meters away or some other short distance. Faster than them. Start the race. Stop time. Get money. In a fight I would pause time. Beat them up for a few seconds and then leg it and hide. Realizing you'll be stuck in frozen time because the 10 seconds will never end. Dodge a bullet. Drop a road roller on my dead brother's great-great-grandson. Betting. Like the tennis scam where an audience member would message an outside man the result before the umpire could log it in order to win bets. In this instance it only requires you and there's less risk of being too slow placing the bet. Just lurk near an ATM machine and pause at the moment the money comes out. The funny answer. Saying Zawarudo right before doing it and walking behind someone. The serious answer. Live life as normal and use only when you are in trouble or to help others. Grab that last cookie before your sibling does. You don't need much time to steal jewelry from a jeweler. Stop a baby from throwing up on you while you carry it. Placing mustaches on people. Killing Joe stars. Take a look at your crush. Freeze time before she notices. Look away just before time becomes unfrozen. Rinse and repeat. You could mug so many people if you stood right next to an alleyway corner. Throw knives at my enemies. Whilst screaming how useless they are. Then allowing time to resume whilst declaring so dramatically. Stealing. That's about it. The career I'd want to go into with that power is emergency medicine. Allah Trauma Center. This power would mark the difference between life and death. And that's a job where it would frequently make that difference. Take something that somebody's holding. yeet it across the room and watch them freak out about the thing teleporting out of their hand. I would become an edgy anime character. I would use my new power to move a French guy one step downwards in stairs every 10 seconds so that he eventually goes mad. Then I might T-pose in the middle of the street IDK. What's the cooldown? If it's relatively short, say around a second, then it's great for fighting. Even against people armed with guns. After all, from their perspective, you're teleporting. They can't track your movement. So each time you stop time, they have to find you, then aim, then fire. I might try taking on a police station with that. Just for fun. Repeatedly freeze time long enough to figure out your schedule for the day, then make your way to where you have to go. Taking some candy along the way. And bam, early on time for where you have to be. Farting. 100 meters dash. I can slap people without them knowing what hit them, both literally and figuratively. Throwing knives yelling MUDA. Realistically, I would probably use to mainly to stop my kid before he hurts himself for the 1000th time today. Wipe out the Joestar bloodline. Dio cosplay. JoJo fandom be like. We have already touched this comment section. Playing dice or the roulette wheel. Shenanigans. 1. Is the Prime Minister in town? Fuck with him. Pull his pants down. Switch his speech with the Navy SEAL propaganda. Place a sign behind his head that has that quote he made about black people. Really fucking mess him up. 2. Is there a company or a business person who is cunt? Are they building something? Put sugar in the cement. Right. Rip Jimmy Savile. On their car while they are on the road. Swap their slideshow with a montage of their most embarrassing moments. Steal and redistribute the fancy sandwiches they had for some corporate bullshit to the homeless. 3. Is there some wanker campaigning for some fuckwittery? While they make their big speech. Draw a mustache on them with a permanent marker. Turn them around mid-speech so they are facing the other way. Put ever more ridiculous hats on them. Don't just use this power for some juvenile bullshit. Use your powers for good. It's a lovely day in the space-time continuum and you are a cunning troll. Be a nuisance. Fighting a vampire in Egypt with my grandpa. A fortune teller. A Frenchman, a dog and a gamer. When my grandmother dies of polio, which is soon, I will stop right as she goes and rub her hair, she really likes that, and say I love you nene and kiss her on the forehead. If I am pooping and someone is knocking on the stall saying who is in there. Then I will stop the time and pick up that poop and put it in his hands and then walk away. Time resumes and he has poopy hands. Make a emerald green donut out of a brat who is using a trap to kill me. Draw Hitler mustache on people you're arguing with. If they are being idiots. Both if you win or lose. Then sit back and enjoy. When they leave the conversation and people look at them really weird. Turning right when cycling on the road. When the cashier opens the cash register. Cheating during a test. I would double the time I last in bed. Carry somebody who's trying to walk up the stairs back down to the bottom. Then walk back up and stand at the top menacingly. Cry, dry some tears. I don't wanna cry while arguing. In order to use my power properly, I'm gonna need a bit of time to set up. First, I need to make sure that my existence alone is enough to catch the attention of a Japanese teenager. His MILF-loving classmate. His American grandfather. A Muslim fortune teller. A Frenchman who's hellbent on revenge and a dog who's addicted to coffee-flavored gum to travel across the world from Japan to Egypt due to the fact that my amazing power was able to make the Japanese teen's mom sick. I'll then wait for them to throw hands with my goons before they inevitably find me vibing in my mansion. I'll be sure that another one of my goons deals with the Muslim fortune teller, Frenchman and the gum-loving dog, and the other will deal with the two teens and New Yorker Indiana Jones. I know that the Frenchman will be able to escape my goon. Unlike the fortune teller and dog. So now is my time to make my power finally shine. Once he finds me at the top of a very large staircase. I'll be sure to stand there. Menacingly. And every time that he attempts to climb the staircase, I'll be able to finally use my power to stop time and move him back to the bottom of the stairs. Once I do this multiple times, I'll be sure to flee while the 4 remaining people chase me to the tower of my mansion. It's here that I'll use my amazingly powerful aura to scare my pursuers to jump out of the building. I'll then wait for it to get dark and I'll hijack the vehicle of a famous politician in order to pursue my old pursuers. The politician will attempt to escape the vehicle multiple times. Except I'll be able to use my time stop again in order to put him back in the driver's seat until he eventually agrees to drive me to where my targets are. I'll eventually catch up and jump over a couple of buildings, until suddenly I fall into the trap of the MILF-loving teen, who apparently has the power to shoot rocks through string. I'll realize that he's trying to figure out what my power is exactly. So I'll be sure to show him by using my time stop once again to avoid the dangerous rocks being shot at me and putting my fist through his guts, turning him into a donut. I'll then be sure to chase the American grandfather across the rooftops of Cairo until he eventually leads me to his grandson, which is when I'll be sure to stop time again and finish off the grandfather by practicing my throwing knife skills and making sure to put one into his throat. Afterwards, I'll be sure to have a quick spar match with his grandson before I stop time once more and finish him off as well. I was scared of the grandson the most, since he's definitely the strongest of the six, but in my stop time, it should be a breeze to deal with him since I'm the only one who can stop time and no one else can. After that, I should easily become the new ruler of the world. Perfect plan. ROADAROLLAHDAAAAAH. To punch people that are being shitty. While reading the rest of the responses, I came up with an ingenious idea, assuming the cooldown isn't very long, like a couple of seconds, and that other people aren't conscious during these 10 seconds. Because it could be that it is impossible for anything to interact with the world. Essentially pausing time, I would just find some random person on the street. If they take their phone out of their pocket, I would pause time, and put it back in their pocket, and go back to the spot I was standing in. When their phone magically returns to their pocket, and they take it back out again, pause time, and put their phone back in their pocket. Assuming that people aren't conscious and can see that I'm doing it, they would just see their phone magically returning to their pocket. They would look around to see who is doing it. But then I pause time again and move their phone back to their other pocket so they get confused. Eventually, I get bored and walk away. And they make a very funny Reddit post about it, which I would be sure to look for. Or, you could just use it for memes and say "Za Warudo" before doing it. And then walk a couple of feet in those 10 seconds. Making it pretty much an instantaneous teleport. ___. I would just roleplay as Dio really.